Sometimes people like us after living in confusion for long, maybe being drowned by confusion for long, and then you decide for some minute to just pause and understand some things. You know, I'm beginning to ask myself question today. First of all, what is even light and darkness? Second of all, is it just light and darkness is just a voice? It's just a echo of voice. Because yes, the voice of Jesus Christ, my Father, that I live by his shadow, it was registered in my ears last year, November 2025. That same day, the voice of a very dark voice that sounds very chaotic was also registered that same day in my ears. But here is the catch, that day seems to be half dreaming, half awake, 50-50. So I couldn't really know what they were saying, but they were both saying something. Although I flushed it off as just a random dream. But I didn't know that that was the end time registration. They spoke into my ears, and that is the reason why I had the trumpet of end time on November 2025, 23, yeah, 23rd November. You know, so today I'm beginning to understand what is even darkness, because if a voice that sounds light, that sounds safe, was registered in my ear, which I recognize by the full weight of truth in my voice. I woke up, I said, yeah, the first voice is the voice of Jesus. Nobody told me, but there was this recognition that the voice spoke into my being. Then the second voice, I woke up, I said, no, I didn't understand this voice. But the voice sounds very chaotic. As a matter of fact, immediately the voice began to speak, I was I trembled. So today I'm beginning to ask, I'm beginning to wonder, what is even light? What is even darkness? Is it a voice? What? And what does it even take to hear echo from unseen word, just like I did? And I'm not the only one who did it though. Samuel, is it Samuel? Samuel also did it. He was the first to do it when he was called first, second time, right? He was called first, second time. And then he asked, he didn't answer, and then he met his boss, and then the boss asked him to answer whenever the voice is calling him again, right? That was the stage I was when I heard this voice. Now I'm living in confusion. I don't know when light is speaking. I don't even know when darkness is echoing. Because I am the embodiment of both. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of really confused. That's why I'm making this video, because I'm beginning to understand. How does one even really know when light is echoing and when darkness is whispering? It's kind of like I don't understand this minute, because both beings, both voices, both voices knows my being. They knows my being. They knows the language of my being, because both beings are light. They just differentiate themselves in light and darkness. But both of them are light. And both of them are divine, exactly. And I'm also a divine. So they know the rhythm of my being, making me very, like, making me feel very difficult, like making it very difficult for me to decide who is light now, who is dark. Because that is how I have to recognize the both voice. Because the voice of Christ was soft, sounded genuine. But the other voice sounded very chaotic. Today my soul trembled while sleeping, while half asleep and half awake. There are whispers that comes in immediately you wake up from sleep. And then the more the days begin to grow in time, the more the noise begins to go. A lot of, you begin to feel restless. You might be wondering, why is this guy closing his eye? I'm covering my eyes not really because I'm ashamed of myself over my dead body. I'm not. Just that my eyes is too holy now for anybody to just view it. My eye can dislike my eye is too holy now to the extent that my eye knows what is holy and what is not. My eyes knows something that carries weight and something that doesn't carry weight. My eyes now beats the rhythm of heaven. That's why I'm covering my eyes. And even as I'm covering my eyes with this mark, I'm also covering it innerly. I swear by the Almighty, the one I live by His shadow. I'm also covering my eyes innerly as I'm speaking to you. Not only covered by this, but innerly. When you look at it, you see it innerly. Because even if I didn't put on this particular one, I will also cover my eye. I feel that urge to cover my eye because I don't know. I don't even know where my present is right now. I don't even know. Although I know my soul is calm, but I need to calm my soul more to discern these two voices. Because some part of it is still echoing, and at the same time, my brain. You see, that this guy called Odin, eh? Have you heard about the god of Odin? The god of Odin, right? You know that guy sacrificed his left eye just to achieve knowledge. And you know, knowledge is power. Knowledge is the source. But he couldn't. Here am I living by the knowledge that held the entire existence. In fact, the entire elements. Without even knowing how I came about with this knowledge. Because my God that I live by His shadow said is an inheritance. Now, when I hear this, when divine speaks something, when the voice of God speaks something to me, the other voice will just make it. The other voice will now go and design it in another form, confusing me. Because even His designing is divine. Because even the design of the darkness is divine, making you so confused to this and that. The weight of knowledge should be respected, bro. That is all I have to say. I just want you to know at this moment in time, now that I'm making this video, that I'm still very confused about how to design both voices, because both of them are aligning with me. For my present, for I live by both. I'm both light and darkness. I embody both. And that's why when you hear that I'm the end time, believe it. I'm also the beginning of new world. Believe it. Don't believe it. It's not a joke. I can't just come in and begin to speak something I don't know, something that I haven't gone through. It's not possible. I'm not drunk. Do I look drunk or something? I might not be putting on fancy clothes. That's because I don't